head was down, face locked onto the phone. And I wished I had a number so I could be color unknown. And then I tried hard to look into my eyes and never let it go.
And good day, everybody. It's Brother Chris here. How are you guys doing today? I am actually joined here with my colleague, Gypsy Lady Eva, and we've got a great show today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So we were just discussing, and I kind of figured this would be a great show for you guys. So we know exactly what took place actually on November the 5th. Not like the what I said a couple episodes back, which was December the 5th. So we were talking about to do with what's been going actually on, and we kind of got onto a great topic. It's about the second coming. Now, I was saying to Gypsy Lady, though, Matthew 24 within the Bible. Since I don't really follow the Bible, but I've been sort of paying attention to what happened on the 5th of November. There it says 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken, the other one will be left behind. No man knows exactly what day or what hour of the second coming. But the thing though is Gypsy Lady actually said something which I actually have to throw in and say something. Go ahead. What were you saying?
What is it? You tell me what I had said so I can react.
All right. So Gypsy Lady basically said though that no man nor woman knows exactly really what the Big Bang is, or what's gonna actually happen. She also said though that we are not all Christians here. Some people are Christians, some people are not Christians.
Exactly.
It's like so.
And from there, it went on to say, yeah, I made a big study of a long time study of religions, and many other religions also have a second coming of sorts. So one group is going to see Quetzalcoatl come back, the Native American or the Native Mexicans, the Aztecs, or the Mayans, Kukulkan, or Buddha, or Muhammad. All these religions do have second comings, and they're going to be something different than Christ, and we're not all Christians. So who's going to come? Who come out of the clouds and say, "Here I am."
Yeah, and the thing though is with November 5th, even though that Trump became elected, okay, the big thing though is in the Bible says though that the East and the West are going to be actually going to war and come rectified. So right now the states though is actually kind of against each other because what happened though with the East side compared to the West side, and everything's going to work as one. But with dumb Trump, basically though is he's working with Putin. He's working with the communist people.
I agree.
What's going to happen though is, even though we say that the second coming is going to happen, is the second coming something really big and shocking for the world? Or is it a spirit? That's what we're looking at. And I gotta agree with what Gypsy Lady even said, is all that with the dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I found this and it piqued my curiosity because of a theory that I have about this world. We can get into that or not.
Go ahead.
Okay, if you want to. How old is the Earth, Chris?
The Earth, though, no man really knows exactly how old it is.
Okay, we'll use the approximation from the scientists that is 4.5 billion, with a B, years old.
Yeah.
Let's figure half of that, or 2.5, a little more. it took to calm the earth down, get the primordial, let's try that again, primordial soup going, baking or cooking, and to have something develop it, which was the amoeba, which led to other things, and finally fish evolved. And the fish evolved and even walked on land, and they became a highly civilized group. Did they get into space? Quite possibly. Did they colonize? I don't think so. But they had to come back home, or they got destroyed from nature, from the whole list of things. But part of it remained within the DNA of whatever was left. And from that came the amphibians, who also walked on land. Did they get a great civilization? Yes, they did. Did they go into the space? Yes, they did. Did they colonize? A little bit. But again, the civilization fell. And there were leftovers, and that DNA was passed on to the reptiles. And that's the dinosaurs. And one of the things that I told you is, for all the dinosaurs that were supposed to have roamed the earth, according to what scientists have extrapolated, there's not a lot of bones out there.
No, there isn't. So, and even we were discussing about this. Really, the only locations really for bones is like the southern states, not to do with Florida and like that. So California, Nevada area. There's also BC, and then if we come over to the east side of North America, the only real location though is really Sudbury, right where they make the nickel.
Interesting.
So really, were the dinosaurs like this is what you said, and I gotta agree with you there. Were the dinosaurs really big? Like were they scattered like how we are here as humans?
I think they were, and I think that there was a civilization of reptilians who quite possibly used them as meat.
Yes.
They were the cattle of their era.
Yes.
And it's not just here in the United States or the northern and southern, well, even the northern, which is all we're talking about right now, the northern
North America
continent.
Yep.
There are dinosaur bones found in South America, Africa, even Australia, which at that time the Earth did not look like it did today. So it was easier, or however you want to put it, however it happened, for dinosaurs to move around.
Yeah.
And if there was some kind of a civilization, it also fell. And everybody says, well, how, when I tell them this theory of mine, they would all say the same thing. Well, how come there's nothing left? Well, how much is going to be left from our world except for the plastic, which lasts forever?
Yeah, so true.
But, think about that.
Yeah.
When you think about it, if we have just 2 billion years left, billion with a B, how many millions of years is that? And it doesn't take that long, time-wise, for an organism to develop into something intelligent.
Yes.
Because I think mankind himself only goes back, I think, approximately 100,000 years.
Yeah, and they think though that we were actually created from apes.
Well, take your pick.
So
my belief is that there was a single group that, for whatever reason, divided, and as a result, one broke off to become the apes, the other broke off to become humans, another group broke off to become something, kind of like we're all part of the same family tree, just different branches.
Yeah.
If you live in Canada, check out my podcast Etsy store, as there's a great ceremony on right now of cleansing items, consoles are on sale. Check us out at Haunted Wild Podcast underneath Etsy Canada.
We're now posting on Podbean underneath Divine Oracle Podcast. Check out all of our shows underneath this free app that allows you also to call in right when we're live. That's Podbean with Divine Oracle Podcast. So we're back to our show, and what we're talking about we're talking about changes and things to pay attention to. Now, Gypsy Lady Eva. Yeah, and it's like so. Yeah, so really, we have to really pay attention to what I have to say. Though is we have to really pay attention to what we're doing, actually, as human beings. COVID though happened.
Yes.
It killed off some people, but there's still big stuff that's going to be happening later on down the road.
Yeah, there could be some kind of a virus that does more harm than the COVID virus.
Yeah.
It could be the climate change thing, and you're already seeing stuff with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird though because Eva and I we're basically in North America. We're up in the higher areas, and just recently, the weather has been so hot here. It's been so warm. Right where Colorado has had snowstorms. Colorado.
And look at the number of hurricanes that come inland. They never used to do damage like that.
That's right. The last hurricane that came through came up in the Gulf of Mexico and went across Florida. The other one though that's supposed to be touching down is going to be down to an F1. Right now it's like an F4, and it's also in the Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, you really have to pay attention to what's going actually on. There's big changes happening.
Well, think about the ice caps; they're melting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Sahara is starting to bloom.
And that's very unusual. So really,
yeah, when you consider how long that's been sitting there as a desert.
Yeah. Well, I know Canada has a desert. Right? And a lot of people don't realize Canada has a desert.
You gotta love Canada. It's got everything.
So we do. Except for
so does Michigan, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, again, though, originally Michigan was supposed to be part of Canada.
Yeah, well, wars are wars. You know how that happens.
That's like God. So, but yeah, there is so much that is going actually on, and again, those with November 11th, that recently just happened. There is changes. You got to pay attention to the signs. A lot of people are not paying attention to the signs altogether.
No.
So.
And I know what's going to happen down the road in 6 months or maybe even not that long. People are going to say, what the hell did we do? Hey, you voted him in, you
losers.
stupid people.
Yes. Yeah. It's like so. But yeah, no.
Sorry, the blood pressure goes up,
It's like us. Yeah. There is changes that have to be done, and the one thing that really drive me nuts to do with the 11th of 1105 is basically those, and you indicated this, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Pennsylvania was pretty much all blue until the very last minute.
Yes. I watched on different channels here in the States. Blue, 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 red. What? Red, 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 red. We give it to Trump. Like, what the blum 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 is this?
Yeah. And I also brought this up to Gypsy Lady Eva. Did they really count the ballots?
I don't. Can I tell them what I told you? A friend of mine who lives in Detroit has a friend who lives in Pennsylvania, And she was talking to her last night, and her husband worked at the polling places, the ballots, and normally he does not get home until midnight sometimes. This election, they were all sent home at 8:30. End of discussion. You're going home. That's not right.
No.
Something is going on.
Well, again, though, so I turned around to Gypsy Lady and I said, don't forget the Supreme Court's got to be coming up shortly.
I'm sorry?
So, like I said to you, though, about Supreme Court.
Oh, yes.
And you turned around and said that there is something more than that.
Oh, can I tell you this? Last night, I was, I write, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought that would make an excellent novel. The president is elected, and he really thinks he's got it hot, whatever, and he's getting ready to ready to be
Nominated.
inaugurated.
Yes. I knew the word though that you were looking for, but I couldn't say it also. But go ahead.
Sometimes I can talk, and other times my mouth doesn't work with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes to get two of the Supreme Court justices who are going to inaugurate him, but who are on his side that had been somehow got in there before. They can't find him. They don't know where they're at. So he just assumes the role, much to the chagrin of everyone and the fear.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks later, maybe, I don't know, they find the bodies.
Yeah.
No marks on them, no poison, no nothing, but they're dead. How did they die? So they go to get other Supreme Court justices who have also all disappeared for some reason. The candidate that ran against the man who is now the president cannot be found because she is in hiding. And no one knows where. They can't find her. And as a side note, somewhere down in there, it's discovered that she's actually in Canada. That's as far as I got it, but I thought, boy, that would make a great novel. I wish I could write novels.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So again, though, is pay attention to all the signs. There are signs, though, that are all around us. I know that the States was actually hit with all those commercials.
Oh, jeez.
All right. But if you took away the commercials and looked at exactly what they were speaking about, you definitely would have noticed the messages actually between. Like us Canadians, though. We do not get the States commercials. We get our own commercials up here.
It brought to mind something else that a long time, I study history also. I find history fascinating. I've read, the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, among other things. Democracies never last more than 300, maybe 400, maybe 300 years.
Yeah.
We're close to that. Dictatorships usually last maybe 75 years to 100 years, excluding Russia. But Russia is also undergoing changes. They're more subtle, but they're undergoing changes. So that is also falling. And of course, China also has fallen. Not that they recognize it. So here we are with a democracy. And what happens is something else comes in that's very, very dictatorial. Read whatever you want into that. And it holds for a little while, but it cleanses so that we get back to the pure democracy that we started with. Because we have gotten the old democracy has become the fat cat sort of thing, just laying there, just waiting for everything to happen. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of bad things happening within the democracy itself, the democratic elements. So maybe this is the purge that we need right now.
Yes. So you got your cards.
I don't know.
You got your cards ready.
Oh, yeah, I can. Hang on.
All right. So yeah, we're just gonna before we wrap up the show, we're gonna actually take a quick look at the cards. We're gonna sort of see what the cards are saying, basically of what we've been just talking about the big change and the big news that's gonna be happening later on down the road.
Down the road.
Not,
Ease on down the road.
not like little hobo here in Canada.
I'm
if
sorry.
not like the little hobo here in Canada.
If it does get bad, can I come join you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Come on over there. Just once, because Justin Trudeau's letting all the immigrants, like all the Pakistans and all the other people, actually into Canada with no problem. So come on over. There should be no problems at all.
You know, it's interesting. You speak of the Pakistanis. Uh, I find it interesting. I don't know. I get these little short reels
Yeah.
or short videos. There's been a lot of them talking about Muslims, and I don't know why.
Ooh. Yes.
Like, how to put a hijab on properly, what you should do during prayer. And I'm like, why is this on here now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it goes, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I just said about my cards. So.
Okay, I got the Nine of Wands, the King of Coins, and the Moon. You know, when I look at them, I usually try and read each card separately
Yeah.
and let them tell the story. And in this case, it's like I look at the page, kind of looks like Vance, or reminds me of Vance. And then the king, who is Strump. And then there's the moon. And one thing about the moon is it is constantly changing. You know? Full moon, half moon, quarter moon, whatever.
Yes.
Or however. Oh boy, it's been a long day. And I look at this and I look at the way the cards, it's like, okay, instead of reading from right to left, or no, left to right, I'm reading it the opposite way, which is very interesting. I don't normally get that. And when I look at it that way, it's like something's happening to Trump. Vance will take over, but that too is temporary. And I pulled up the summation card, and it is the Chariot, again, which was in that last reading we did. And I look at the Chariot, which is also change. But in this case, I also pick up that the Chariot also is indicative of almost a takeover.
Yeah.
Because the way you move a chariot is with horses, is with reins, so that you can direct it. So whatever happens with the current with this administration, there's other things that are going to be undermining it, and it's not the Russians. I do not see the Russians in this. Okay,
Yeah.
you can take that to the bank.
You can't cash it. Sorry. It's like it's a, yeah. So what I've got though is I'm using the Sean Laird's cards, actually Wisdom of the Elders. The first one though I got though, which is card number 43. This is smudge. So cleansing energy. We always need to cleanse all of our energy. Just pay attention to what's going around you. If there's anything that's negative, cleanse it. What I did before one of our past podcasts, I had crystals around me. I was doing smudging. This is actually on the 6th, right when I was doing before the podcast. So I was cleansing the energy, and it's saying smudge, cleanse that energy, breathe it in, so that way you can be able to breathe it out. The next one though is smudge, new beginning. It's good though. The reason why is because right when we cleanse out, we're going to start with a new beginning. But the thing though is with what took place on the 5th of November, there's a new beginning, but things are changing within the right direction. Who knows exactly what's going actually on? There's right when I'm looking at the picture though, it has beans on it. It's got like a flower growing. But the thing though is the very bottom though, it has 2 seeds. One seed was stronger than the other. So what I'm getting though is even though that he did take the reins, he's going to lose reins and he's not be able to grow any further. The last one though is number 1, which is humility. Wolf. Wolves are actually always the leader of the packs. Now I'm going to draw 2 last cards, actually from my spiritual cards. Sweat Lodge. Sweat Lodge, so you're going in there, you're actually cleansing yourself. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Days will move forward. Last card, though, is Tribal Spirit Dance. Dancing, though, is always the best way how to move. Get things moving actually in the right direction. So those are our cards altogether. Again, those we do say thanks a lot for tuning in for this podcast today. You guys have an awesome day, and we will talk to you guys later.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Her head was down, face locked onto the phone.